Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. I decided to take a break from Cyberpunk 2077 and actually get some work done here today. Today we're doing a Cub Cadet rototiller with a Honda GC160 engine on it. Not bad. I think hopefully it's fuel pump driven. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with the fuel pump. But I'm thinking we're just having a carburetor issue there. So what we're going to do is the customer also wanted an oil change. So we'll be doing an oil change on it. Has power reverse, but the power reverse cable is disconnected and nothing up under there to reconnect it. Okay, this looks like it's going to be a fairly simple repair. Oh, so beautiful. If everything goes according to plan, which I'm hoping it does. Now, I was going to offer them a new air filter, but theirs looked pretty good, so I decided that was fine. Now, all we got to do is remove two 10mm bolts. Let me readjust over here. Two 10mm bolts holding on the air filter cover. I can move that fuel line out of the way. I think I might have to take it off. And I got it. Okay, so once we get these off, that fuel line has a hard plastic cover there. Pull those all the way out. And now disconnect the air hose line. And there's the cover. Nice and off. Now from there, we'll take a quick peek. What do we got here? We got the heat shield. Got a heat shield. Oh, also on this machine, we're going to have to fix this coil. It's all bent up in there. We'll show you guys what to do there in a minute. So on-off works fine. What are we looking at here? Looks like the choke we could just pop out and take with us and put it back together on when we take the carburetor off. Okay, we'll remove the gas line now. Which don't have to put it because it is fuel pumped, not gravity fed. We have an overflow line in there. So like I said, the choke can come with us. And we'll take it out. So we got some leaves dropping down up in here. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to take this throttle cable out. Which will be like this. So now remove that spring. And there went our choke. That's right. We'll put that on up there. Okay, now that that's all set and good, we should just be able to remove the whole carburetor. And this is a good test for that stuff I'm going to be trying out. So let's get over to the table. Okay, so we got the ultrasonic cleaner on and heating up to 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit. If you guys are curious on how to do Celsius to Fahrenheit, I'll put the formula right here. Or you just use Google like I did. But today, as you can see, pure clean water's there. We're going to try something different in our cleaner. I watched a YouTube video a long time ago and I just want to test it out, see if it works. I don't see why it wouldn't, but it's powdered laundry soap. Now, the guy said to use Tide on the video I watched, but however, I didn't want to spend $8 on a thing of Tide if I'm not going to use it all the time. So I don't see why store brand regular old laundry soap won't work, because normally all I use in my cleaner is Dawn dish soap, which is the best. Well, you never know, I might have a new best. So we're going to put a liberal amount in here. There we go. Let's see if that stuff is as good as that YouTube guy said it was. I don't know the channel. If I find it, I'll put a link down below. Mix that up, dissolve that powder. I might add more. But for now, I think that's going to be good. We're going to test it out because we have this really dirty carburetor here. We can see this has some gunk on it. So we'll see how good. I know the Dawn dish soap would clean all this up real nice and pretty. So first things first, I'm going to pop off this heat shield. It ain't going to pop off. Let's take the throttle cable out though, and the throttle spring, and put that aside. So I'm going to put it in with the ultrasonic cleaner, and then it should pop off. You can see inside there is real nasty. Well, look, I can't even barely move that. So this should all pop off too, and we'll put it back on. Okay, first things first, we're going to take off this 10mm nut down here. You know what? Actually, we'll remove that overflow line, or the drain line, I should say, actually. Remove that drain line. Get in there, remove that nut. Oh, there goes all the gas. Nut, we're going to throw in there too. And also, if you guys didn't know, on my ultrasonic cleaner basket, I have a screen across the whole thing, so no parts fall through these big old holes here. So every little piece we'll just throw in there. Looks fairly clean inside. I'm hoping that's not a fuel pump issue. I'm sure it's just carburetor. Oh, it definitely smells like laundry day in here. Okay, we'll remove the float keeper. And look at that. Let's see if we can see this. I hope it could focus. Right there is a little visitor. Hey, little guy. How you doing? He's long dead. I wonder how a spider got up in here. Crazy. You know what? We're going to throw him in the cleaner with them. That's fine. Okay, so now we grab our handy dandy Phillips screwdriver here. Unscrew this idle. That looks fairly clean. We don't have to throw that in there. Plus, I'd like to keep the dirt trail so I know exactly how far to screw it back in where it was. And now we're going to remove this stopper here to the pilot idle jet. Just remove that all the way. Keep that out. Now we can clean inside that hole. I'm sorry, little guy, you're going to go for a swim. There he is again. Oh boy, how did he get up in there? Now we're going to take our flathead, if I can find it, custom one with the edges sheared off, so we can get this jet out of here. And everything seems to be coming out pretty good, so that's a good thing. Besides this heat shield, I don't want to end up ripping off the gaskets and having to replace those. Customer's kind of in a hurry for it, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll get it done. But I upsold them on an oil change, so that's good. Sometimes these things, like, you know, oh, that little guy went missing. That's fine. There we go. Popped right out. Bam. We're going to throw him in there. We're going to take a look through these. Oh no, they're actually looking pretty clean. So I'm hoping this fixes the problem. I really don't want to mess with a fuel pump. But like I said, we're trying this laundry soap. Add a little bit more in there. And we're going to see how good it does. Okay, guys. Oh, I don't want that sticking out. Okay. Damn heat shield's in the way. Hopefully it pops off with a little bit of time so I can just get in there and get it out and finish cleaning it. Okay, guys. Like I said, we do 30 minutes here. We got it set to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's go. Let's see if it bubbles. Look at that go. Okay, guys. Catch you soon. Okay, let's see how this turned out. So as you can tell, it's soapy like normal. Like if you're using normal soap, you can see a little dirt layer on top. So what you do before you take it out is you give it a little shake, rinse it off. But look at that. Oh dang, that thing looks brand new. Still have to blow it off with some water, but yeah, got rid of all the nasty inside. So let's see the cup. I have to say, I'm fairly impressed with some of that dish soap there. We might do a few more tests, you know, on some nastier stuff when it comes down to it. Let me know if you guys want to see anything tested in these. I'll try out anything you guys recommend. I don't care. Sounds like fun. The brass didn't clean up as pretty as I wanted it to. The bolt came out nice. Okay. So I'm going to slap this bad boy back together and blow it all off with my blower. And yeah, so we're going to put it back together and just like that, it's all back together. So now let's put it all back on the machine, and I'm hoping this fixes the problem so we can warm it up, change that oil. But I know we have to fix that coil first, so knock on wood, let's hope this worked. Okay guys, so I know I want to change that spark plug and fix this bent coil in here. So we got that Cobalt 1316 spark plug remover. Give it a quick remove. Well, I'm praying this carburetor fixes the problem. I know I keep bragging about that, but oh, I do not have a fuel pump here. I'd have to order it. So, spark plug looks a little black, but all in all ain't too bad. But we'll still change it anyways, because that's what I promised in my tune-up. So bust out the old drawer here. Should I go Champion or NGK? I'm kind of an NGK fan, so I think we're going to go NGK. A little bit of smaller on the end. I like those better. Easier to get in and out. So we're going from a 13/16 to the 5/8 for the spark plug. But same thread, same gap. Everything except the plug. Hand thread it first so we don't cross thread nothing. I have a customer's machine in here now that might be in a future video on how to fix a cross-threaded head. But there's a lot of good videos on YouTube about that. So just a little pass tight. There we go. Now, let me put this away and get in here with my screwdriver and see if I can't bend this to where it grabs right. Looks like they tried jamming it on there and ended up bending it. I might have to take the boot off. I think I can get in there. Let's see here. It's still bending it. Might use something a little thicker. I think I got it now. Hey, we fixed it. So let's put that coil back on there. Just double checking, pulling it off a few times. There we go. One more time. Nice and snug. Okay, let's get that carburetor on. So this is always a pain in the butt with these because they have bolts that protrude out of it. I mean, that come off, unlike the ones on a Briggs & Stratton or something that are built in. You just slide it on and you're done. I guess it can't all be easy, huh? But that's why we're here, show you how to do stuff. So let me get the choke, overflow, what else we need, 10 millimeter. Okay guys, so what we are gonna do first is put the throttle back on. So we're just gonna put it back in the hole here. Nice and pretty. And from there, we will slide it into this hole. Like that. Get it in there. Click that back on this, put the spring back on. Okay. Now from there, we will do the choke. Like so. Okay, choke's good to go. So we're just going to leave that loose for a second. Now from here is where you're going to need like a fourth set of hands. We want to put the heat shield back on and the, with all the gaskets. Put it back in there nice. Now from here we're going to have to line it up, hold it on there firm. Now we got another gasket here. This would probably be better if I glued them. Move that choke out of the way for a second. Now we're going to start with the bolts. Hopefully I can thread this through right. Come on. Don't give me a hard time. My fat fingers. And that fuel line is not helping in the way. So actually we'll start with this bolt here. Line it up into the carburetor, through the gasket, and through carburetor and into the heat shield, because once we get it started we could hand thread it and then adjust it all from there. So where am I stuck? Oh, move it back a little bit. There we go, we started it. Okay, now, from there we can work on the other side. Now we just gotta adjust the gasket. Okay, I'm gonna have to look over here. Sorry if I blocked the view. Pop this air hose back on while I'm over here. Now, reach up in here, put the gasket on, slide the bolt through. Come on, baby. There we go. Now adjust the heat shield up and all the gaskets. Great, my other bolt came out. I didn't start it all the way. And now we can mess with the choke. Put it back in its place. And from there, reconnect the fuel line and then zip these bolts in. So I'm going to zip these bolts in now and then we'll give it a test drive. Okay guys, so I did all that, had to get some free hands, choke's working, throttle's working, coil's back on. Now we need to start this, that's stopped, that's on. We need to start this so I can heat it up, get that oil clean and drain it. So we're going to choke it, run on, and we're just praying that she starts up. Might need a few pulls. Not starting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a boost of ether. See if that fires it up. If not, I got to figure out if it's the fuel pump or not, which I'm leaning towards. That's been the problem. So just going to give it a quick boost of ether. Walmart brand. And let's fire her up. And dying right away. Okay, let me, oh boy. So we start up, we got spark, we got compression, but we are dying right away. Let me check the gas. No, it's fresh gas, just like they said it was. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's go full blast at it. Let's open it up. Off choke. One more boost of ether. Not choked. Oh, I think it's that fuel pump. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any fuel in this float bowl by opening up this drain plug here. And I'm not seeing no, oh boy. I think I just found the problem. I think I just found the problem, guys. I'm going to bring you over here and I'm going to show you what I think it is. Okay, fuel pump right here. That's disconnected. For the air to go in and actually make it pump. So that was disconnected. So let me connect that real fast. Try to do it one-handed here. Let me get my needle nose. Yeah, because I have no gas in that carburetor whatsoever. Okay, now that that's reconnected, it should cause air to go in there and circulate everything up in here. Hopefully I don't have to replace that. So let me put you back on the stand and we'll see if that fixes it. I'm going to leave the air filter off just in case I need another boost of ether. So we're going to choke it and we're going to try to start it. Let that air pump through there. Okay, now that we got the engine warmed up, we're going to change the oil. This one has a 13 millimeter oil stopper right here. We're using AMSOIL, small engine oil, 10W30. Preloaded into my ketchup dispensers for easy access. So let's start this oil drain. Let's start it up. Thank you, Brian, for sending me some AMSOIL products. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try our best. See if we can't get a good tip on this. Let's see, right there will be some nice draining action. So now we just need something to hold it up. That's what I'm looking for. One brick works. Okay, now that we're tipped over and tipped down, and we've got this loose, we're going to get a little oil here. We'll wipe it off. We'll unscrew it. Be careful, the oil's hot because this engine was running for a while, but that helps get all the particles loose and all the sludge and all the old buildup. Anytime you're doing an oil change, try to warm it up if you can. Let's see, hopefully this catches everything and release the floodgates. Okay guys, let that drain out. We'll wipe it, and then we'll put some fresh oil in there. I'm looking at the oil, it looks like no metal specks. Oil looks, you know, it's black, hasn't been changed in a long time. So, I think that was our last thing we have to do, so let's put some fresh oil in it. Right here now, what we'll do is we'll crack this open a little bit to help it flow a little faster. Matter of fact, we'll actually take this dipstick out so we clean it up. So I actually really like that laundry soap. It did a really good job on cleaning that carburetor. I'm wondering if I didn't even need to clean the carburetor, because I didn't notice that thing, that fuel pump, until after the fact, you know what I mean? So it looks like that's good. Get our blue towels. Put our stopper back in. Hand thread it. Don't want to cross thread this either. Well, however, that's easier to tap than a spark plug. I really like this Harbor Freight tool. It's an older style one, but it has the 1/4 on one side and the 3/8 on the other, and it's a breaker bar. So it's a really good tool. I think it was like $10, but you can tell by the color scheme and the way it's written, it's the older model instead of that bright red on the newer ones. And yeah, different color scheme. So tighten that tight. And now we're going to wipe off all that excess oil. Move the oil out of the way. If you guys want to take a look in there. Okay. Now we will add oil to it. Move my brick. Got the dipstick. And let's add our oil. Pre-measured out AMS oil. To exactly what we should need for this. I think these are easier than using a funnel. And then we'll fire it up one last time. Oh, you guys hear that? That's the good stuff. I think I'm going to misjudge. I might need one more half of one. But I don't think so. Okay, so now let me check. Make sure when you're checking your oil, you screw it in all the way how it's supposed to be, because you don't want to get a misreading. So in all the way, out all the way, and we are actually good on oil now. Okay, so I was right. Worked on enough of these Hondas, I should know. Honda, make your engine more easy access. I don't like holding the carburetor and doing all that funky stuff. So, now we're going to run it. Put her in drive. Make sure everything's still good with her. And maybe I'll fix something for that power reverse. Actually, let me look at that real quick. So, I was actually to find this little eyelet in my scrap part thing. I think if I could bend this out and make it into a Z bend, I should be able to get it into the hole, and it should thread in there pretty good. I might have to clamp it down again. Yeah, I'll have to clamp it, but I think this should work, so I'm going to try that out. So I got some epoxy in there as deep as I can, but now what I want to do is I want to heat it up at the top, get it a little hot so I can bend it easier, so I can re-clamp it. My epoxy's catching on fire there. But now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to re-crimp it. And we'll see if that works. We'll let that epoxy set. Okay guys, now let's do the final test run here. Fresh oil. I think we let that epoxy sit long enough for the power reverse. So we're turning the engine on, choke on, pulling it. Regular mode. Reverse. So, good news is the reverse works now. The epoxy held, my crimps held. So I think we're actually good on that. I think the customer will be happy I threw that in since might have been a nothing burger. But we cleaned the carburetor, we fixed the spark plug boot, we changed the oil on this machine. We actually got the reverse to work. So all in all, we did a pretty good amount of repairs on this. So if you're new here, subscribe. And if you like this video, hit that like button. And let me know if you're playing any games. I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 at the moment. And catch you guys mañana.